Have you checked the Majestic Bouquet Stamp Set? This is the largest Altenew stamp set release, and today I want to give you some ideas on how you can use it to add color to your next memory keeping layout. Welcome to today's project. Nathalie here to give you a fun idea on how you can add color onto your next memory keeping layout using the Majestic Bouquet Stamp Set. This is the largest stamp set that Altenew has released, and it's actually a beautiful and very fun and easy flower to create and to layer. So I'm going to show you one idea, and I have a few pictures, and I chose this one of my family on Easter. We live in different parts of the world, and we were supposed to get together. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to take pictures in our little corners of the world. So I want to pick the color of their clothing to make the impact on this page. So I'm just created a few pieces of the Majestic Bouquet. I just stamped it on white cardstock for a second project, and I'm just gonna use them to give me an idea of how everything is gonna sit. And I'm thinking about corner designs for this layout. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use black Obsidian ink to stamp one of the large florals, two of the little florals, and then a few of the leaves. So once I have all of them stamped, I'm using Nina cardstock 110 pounds for this. I'm gonna go ahead and start coloring. Now for this one, because I want the color to just really emphasize it without taking it away, I want the color of the clothing to be more of the punch. I'm gonna skip the first step after the outline. The first step, if you look at the layering guide, it usually has the outline, and then the next step is the one that colors the flower. I'm gonna skip that step and just go ahead and start adding the next two steps, which are the ones that are gonna detail the petals. So then that's gonna give me a more of a white with color floral, which is what I'm looking for. Like I said, I want to pick the colors from the clothing, make them stand out. For that, I also need the flowers to have color, but not to overpower the clothing in the picture. So that's why I'm skipping the step that adds the color to the entire flower. So I'm just using the layering guide, and I'm using for the larger floral the inks from Lapis Lazuli, because it's going to give me the same tones as the clothing my cousin and his husband is wearing. And then for the smaller floral, I'm actually going to use colors from the Golden Sunset ink set. I'm going to use Sunray, Chamomile, Marigold. And the way I'm gonna go again, I'm gonna skip this one has actually 3 steps. I'm gonna stamp the center of it with the lightest color of yellow, and then I'm gonna skip the next stamp and just add the stamp that adds the details to the corners of the petals. So you're gonna have the larger part of the floral is gonna be white, and I'm just gonna accent the edges of the petals. But what I'm gonna do is I want to add a little bit more of a deeper tone. I'm gonna use, in this case, Chamomile, which is the second color on the family, and then I'm gonna add Snapdragon just to the edges of the stamp, and that's just gonna give me a little a deeper tone right at the edges. And because I have some curls on the petals, it's just gonna add to the shadow, add the dimension that I'm looking for in the floral. And that is all it's gonna take. Now for the centers of my florals, in this one and the larger one, I am using inks from the Green Meadows ink set. Is Mint Mountain, just because I want that kind of tealish tone in the centers. And then once I have them ready, I'm gonna set them aside, and I'm gonna work on the leaves. For the leaves, I used a combination of greens, and I wanted something that was really bright and something that was a little bit more earthy. So I went with inks from the Spring Bouquets, one Limeade, and then I went back into the Green Meadows inks. Sweet Leaf was my choice, just because it gives me a nice different tones of green in one single leaf. So once I have all that, I'm gonna take my time, fussy cut them, and be back to have my page. And you're gonna see that I've already cut my background, and I'm using this picture is gonna go in my small journal. So I already cut it into the 2 pages because I have a ring album for this. So I've already set my idea in place. But I need to bring a background that is gonna make the florals stand out. For this, I'm using the fine Tulle stencil, and I'm gonna use inks from the Sweet Dreams collection. I want those soft teals to bring everything together. So I am gonna start with the lightest color, and that's Dewdrops, and I'm using my small ink blending tool just to add the color. Think of it as triangles, the corners, the bottom right corner of my right page and also the top left corner of my left page, and that's where I'm gonna add the color. I want to create kind of an ombre effect going from the darkest to the lightest. So you're gonna see that at first I applied Dewdrops, which is the lightest color, and then I'm just gonna move my stencil. I don't want to have those lines that define the stencil. I want to make sure that I have a more organic look that doesn't have a limit. And then I'm gonna go into Aqualicious, which is a darker color, just getting closer and closer to the edge of the page so that I have the soft gradation of color in that triangle. Just to finish, you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna add a little bit of teal cave, and that's just gonna deepen that tone that I'm using for this background. And just to finish, I'm gonna go to the last color in this ink set. Instead of actually using it to stamp or to create the impression, I'm actually gonna stamp it in one of my acrylic blocks, and then I'm gonna dilute it with some water. That's just gonna give me like this really liquid watercolor, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use one of my watercolor brushes just to add some splatters throughout the page. You're gonna see that I go through the entire perimeter of the page, and I'm gonna make sure that it dries on the side before I continue working. Now I went ahead and backed the picture with a piece of paper from the per acrylic 6x6 paper pad, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it on the left hand side of my page, and I'm gonna start building the bouquets. And like I said before, I'm going for corner design, so I'm using one of the small yellow on top of the picture, just gonna bring the blue that I already has in the picture. And then on the other side, on the right hand side, I'm actually gonna pull the yellow flower down because I want that one to be hidden, and I want the blue. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Instant Dimension foam tape behind the blue one just to bring it up. That's simple as that. For my title, I'm using actually stamps from the Playful Blooms, and then the second stamp is Enjoy the Ride. I combined two of the sentiments to create my title. The next thing I did is added my lines of journal underneath the picture, and that is all it takes. I love how this turned out. I love how the blue is just pops from the page, and the yellow is just a lot of color, and everything works nicely together. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Remember to check the blog for more details, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.
Hello crafters, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching.